What's up, y'all? You're now tuned in to the Just a Tip podcast. It's me, Tiptastic, and I'm back. And it sucks that I missed a week. I know, but the elements of the weather kind of stopped me. But as you can see, I'm back. But I'm not by myself. As you see to my left, I have this beautiful ass goddess right beside me. I call her Goddess C. I like to give nicknames, and I like to see a nice queen. Do y'all feel the energy in here? Do y'all feel the energy?
It is kind of heavy in here, but
You feel
light
me?
but heavy.
Exactly.
Lightweight but heavy.
So, you want to introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are.
I am Miss Eyecfit.
Miss Eyecfit.
Miss Eyecfit.
And what's behind Miss Eyecfit? Because I ain't gonna lie, I peeped the swag when I seen you when I came in. I was like, damn. I said, oh, that shit hot. And then I was peeping. You might have to just stand up for the people real quick. Let them know, because they got to see this. You made this?
I made it.
Look at,
I feel like I am my own walking billboard.
You your own walking billboard?
My own walking billboard.
Explain that.
I feel like every time that I'm in
You got to
public,
get back up.
excuse me.
Exactly.
I feel like every time I'm in public, every time you see me, you see me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I am my own walking billboard. I promote myself. I was once lost and I thought like designer things made you a success, or that was the level of success.
Mm.
And for me, it's like once I realized that we are the culture and we make the culture and we make things poppin', I started to feel like I am popping. I am the shit. And when I looked in the mirror and saw myself.
Can you smell it?
I can smell it, feel it, taste it.
Does it smell? Oh, you eat it too?
Man, I eat everything, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eat the shit. Eat it and like it.
Love it. Love it, man. Like, I've never been this sure of myself before. I've never been so happy to be alive in my life.
Okay.
Ever.
I'm gonna break the ice.
Okay, let's do it.
So when I had these cards, right, that means nothing but truth gotta come.
Nothing but truth.
So I'm gonna shuffle these right in front of you. Trust me, I'm not a magician.
Yeah, you are.
So, you want to cut?
Yeah.
So whoever wins, they get to ask a question to that person, and they have to answer truthfully. Me and my goddess came up with this game. So, 6.
8, 3, 6, 9.
Pull your card. I ain't gonna pull it for you. Just 5. 5 is my number. That is my number. So I get to ask the question.
All right.
What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to stop pointing the finger at other people. That was one of my biggest mistakes. Like, even because there was a lot of times in my life where even when I was right, I was still the common denominator in so many things that I had to have a mirror in front of myself. I had to look at myself and be like, why do you continue to be the one that's pointing the finger but never saying what itself do? And that was like the biggest change in my life. For real. It took a lot of like discipline, because nobody wants to look at themselves as a failure. Nobody wants to look at the things that they do as a lesson. We always look at it as a failure. You know what I mean? Like, and once I looked at everything that I went through as a lesson instead of a failure, I really started becoming who I am right now. That's why the unk is in the middle of my logo. It's in the middle of my eye. Once I realized what true divine feminine energy really was, once I realized what an actual melanin queen really was, I was able to walk with my chest out for real. You know what I mean? Like, because it was so many times in my life where, like, it's one thing to be quote unquote oppressed or looked down from someone that doesn't look like you, when it's coming from someone that looks like you,
Yeah.
for like years, I was hearing that I wasn't shit from another melanin black man.
Yeah.
And that was like the most hurtful thing for me because I couldn't understand why. And it was an eye opener once I really started doing my due diligence. I started researching, I started reading, and I started understanding who the fuck I really was.
Talk that shit.
And I was like, I am the shit. You know what I mean?
And they trying to call you now. They probably trying to say, ooh, yeah, you know what I'm saying, girl? I miss you, and I know I fucked up, and I now want to kiss you. Boy, see, that was a bar. That was a rhyme. I about to say, you can...
No, I'm good. Go.
I about to say, they might keep calling. They might keep calling. I about to say, you know what? Just put them on Do Not Disturb.
Go ahead.
So, I want to dive in to who you are, right? I want to dive in, not this person that I see in front of me, because this person I see in front of me is a strong black goddess now. Yeah, I want to tap into that person before this. I want the people to know that person because everybody loves to see the finished product. And you ain't even finished yet. And the thing is, you're not even finished yet, but I want to see the person even before now. They see that person too.
You know what's crazy that you say that? I always tell people that people always read a book or pick up a book and they always go to the end of the book, the end of the book.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely did that in school.
Me too. And it's like for me, that's why I have 3 teardrops on my logo because I have 3 different phases.
Let me see that. See, I didn't even notice that. I seen the eye and I seen the unk. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that unk, I love the unk. As you can see, boom, boom.
I like that. Well, it's pretty deep. Well, the first teardrop is like my innocent phase because like I would put that between like 10 to 15.
Okay.
But my middle one is really defining who I am today. And for me, like, I think the reason that I see the world like the way that I do now is really because of where I come from. And I have no shame of where I come from. Like, I come from the game. When I say that, people always look at me with their eyes like this. Like, I was a stripper. I started at like 17 years old. Uh-huh. And my whole backstory of how it even started was I got invited to a pool party when I was 17. Mm-hmm. Wow, I thought it was a pool party. And when I got there, of course, it wasn't a pool party, and the friend that invited me wasn't even there. Make a long story short, I grew up very sheltered. I grew up middle, upper class, white area.
Gotcha.
Very, very sheltered. So I get to the party, my friend's not there, and everybody... Oh, to be honest, I felt like I walked into like a rap video. It was nothing but like D-boys, guns everywhere, weed everywhere. But at the time, I didn't do nothing. I didn't smoke, drink, or nothing.
Gotcha.
So I walked in, and everybody was looking at me all kind of crazy, and they were trying to pass me the weed. I said, no, I'm good. I don't smoke. Yeah. They asked me if I drank. I said, no, I don't drink. They asked me if I pop Molly. I said, no, I don't pop Molly. Damn. They said, damn, like, do you want a Sprite? And everybody started laughing. So I was like, yeah, I want a Sprite. So they ended up bringing me a Sprite, and about 15, 20 minutes later, the room is spinning.
Spiked this.
Oh my God, they put 5 X pills in my Sprite. And it's hard to tell, but I really, really don't care. Like, it is what it is. They drugged me, and they ended up gang raping me. And they recorded it.
Wow.
Right. They recorded it, and it's crazy because my only friend to this day is the one that really stopped the entire thing. She bust down the door. She kicked the door down. She had a pistol. It was 5 dudes in there, and they were trying to make it seem like I wanted it because of how I was moving around. But she knew what time it was. She made everybody leave. She put me in the shower. She ran a cold shower on me, and she like slept with me the whole night. Yeah. And whenever I woke up, it was of course, my turnout folks. He showed me the video and said either I decided to stay or that he would show my entire family. And that was one of the most scariest moments in my life because of how I grew up. Like, my father grew up like the typical black family. You know, it was like 8 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. So he worked his ass off to get us to where we were so we wouldn't have to live like that. But what he didn't really do was he didn't prepare me for the real world. You know what I mean? He made me seem like it was a facade world because I didn't even go to school until high school because I was a gymnast. So I was training for like 70, 80 hours a week. So I never went to school. And when I did go to school, we had got transferred to a different district, and that was the first time I had ever seen like
People like us.
And it was crazy because about probably like 6 months ago, my mom had made a joke to me, and she was like, "Man, you know, I was so worried about you being fast," because she was looking at me talking to men. But in reality, I wasn't doing. I was still a virgin, but I just wanted to be around people that looked like me.
Yeah.
Because I had never, I couldn't even watch comic view. I couldn't do shit.
Damn.
My parents didn't play that at the time. But make a long story short, once I saw that video, I felt like my soul was taken from me. You know what I mean? So I had a decision to make, and I made it. I didn't want to face that fear. And so in that time, you know, it made it even worse because once I decided to go with the flow, I was given drugs every day, so I was never sober. About probably like a month later, I was at work, and I had seen a mirror, and I had seen myself when I started crying. When I started crying, I called my mom. When I called my mom, somebody had told on me, and I realized what was going on because at the time, the dude that I was with, he used to put Xanax in his drink. And when he would do that, he would wild out. So once I realized the situation, I told my mom not to come. Now, any mother can hear that pain in their daughter's, you know, in their daughter's heart. Well, what happened was when he heard that I was trying to leave, he beat me so bad that when I looked in the mirror, I couldn't recognize myself. And so I fainted. When I woke up, I called my mom. When I tried to tell her not to come, of course she came. Shit escalated. Make a long story short, she ended up getting arrested. His baby moms jumped on her. It was a big old fight. Whenever she was at the police station, she had mentioned his name. When she mentioned his name, the police was like, "Wait a minute." He stopped the tape recording and told my mama to call my father. When she did that, my father ended up coming, and the police officer said literally to my father, it was 2 black dudes, him and my father. And he said, "Whatever you need to do to get your daughter away from this man, you need to do." That same night, because I tried to leave, they went and sprayed up my parents' house 187 shots. And I'm 17 years old. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
My mind is distraught. I'm not sober. I wasn't 18 at the time, so I was being like put on like truck stops. So imagine being 17 years old and putting in the middle of basically a truck stop when there's 50 trucks around you and people are flashing at you and that's basically them calling you to them.
Yeah.
Imagine what that did to my soul. You know what I mean? So for me, it became a point where I was so lost and so broken that I made a conscious decision, and I said, you know what? I'm going to have to do something for myself. And what I did was I said, every time I do this, I'm going to have to walk away with something more than just money. And I started realizing once I elevated to a different situation, I started realizing who I was around as far as the business people. And I started being like that fly on the wall because once I realized the amount of money that we were getting and who we were getting it from, it made me look at us crazy because I'm like, if we are the culture and we are the ones that are behind these companies, we are the ones that are giving these people these ideas where they're making trillions of dollars, why are we not in these same positions? And when I started really listening to these people and understanding about life insurance and health insurance and, you know, buying land and understanding that these people are making all this money without spending their own money, I'm looking at my situation like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, I went against everything that I believed in. I was walking around in shame, and I'm looking around at everybody, and I'm like, we're really not getting anywhere in life. You know, we're going out, we're taking pictures, and everybody got on $20,000, $50,000 outfits, but we're not buying no land. It's people that's been doing this shit for 10, 20 years with the same person, and we not getting nowhere in life. It's nobody buying no businesses. It's nobody buying no properties. And to be honest, nobody ever warned us about spiritual demons.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, spiritual demons are real. I don't give a, excuse my language.
No. You
I
can
don't
cuss
give
on
a
here.
fuck about what's going on. I don't give a fuck if I just made $50,000. Imagine if I just slept with Jeffrey Dahmer, what that really did to my soul.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I had to take it. Literally, I've been out for like 4 years. It took me 2.5 years to taking spiritual baths and looking in the mirror and talking to myself. Like, I literally tried to kill myself 4 times. And I took pills 2 times. The third time I slit my wrist. I'm going to show it to you. The third time I slit my wrist like real bad. And then the 4th time, and this is when I really knew that I had a purpose in life and that what I was doing didn't make any sense, because both of my parents are Marines. I'm a gun enthusiast.
Okay.
And I tried to shoot myself. And I cleaned the gun. I had wrote everything out. I had came to that moment. And I feel like, to be honest, that's when my entire life changed, because you have to realize that moment right before you die, you fear nothing. You know what I mean? You fear nothing. And when I pulled the trigger, but the moment before I pulled the trigger, it was an energy that left my body that I thought was never going to return. Oh, look, confirmation that I thought was never going to return. And when the gun jammed, I had an entire vision that everything that I had ever went through in life was for a purpose. Like, I remember times when I would wake up and I would be so sad that I was alive. I remember times that I wanted to reach out to people, or I wanted to tell somebody what I was going through, and I had nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm not afraid to tell anybody where the fuck I come from. You know what I mean? Because the average person that sees me, unless you know me from the past, you would never know. That's why I'm so loud in the gym. That's why I'm so extra in the gym, because it was so many times, man, where I didn't feel like I was shit. And to hear every day from a black man that you ain't shit to a white woman compared to a white woman, you know, I literally used to spend like 2 or 3 hours a day getting ready for work, and my makeup was about this color. Because I thought that the ideal person was a blonde white woman. It's nothing against them, whatever. But that was what everybody seemed to want, even the men. It didn't matter. Like, for me, the reason that I'm so intelligent right now as far as business is because they always told me that it was a white woman's world. So I would see them make money, and it made me go home and watch documentaries. Like, the shit got so crazy where I was writing thesis papers that I had a client literally pay for a fake tuition. People really thought I was in college because I had to come to the table with something more than just this.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I would literally, like, if it was a banking conference coming in town, I would take 2 weeks and I would just watch banking documentaries. And then I would write a thesis paper. You know what I mean? And like, it was one thing to be invited to somebody's hotel room. That's nothing. It's a whole different level when you're being invited to like a deal signing, a multi-billion-dollar deal signing, when you're being invited to conferences. You know what I mean? That means that you have the ability to listen to everybody. I stopped being the woman in the club that was just loud and crazy and drunk. I started being the person that got them that way, because I was learning so much, and they never thought that I was obtaining the information, because number one, I was black, and number two, look where I was coming from. And for me, that's why I was so mad that I didn't have the right people around me, because I'm like, man, I'm downloading this information and I want to bring it back, because they not realizing what they telling me. I'm just taking notes and taking notes and taking notes. But then I would still come home and then be told I wasn't shit. And so it was like one day I just woke up and I realized who the fuck I was. And I started valuing myself. Like, I watched that documentary the other day, the interview with, what's her name, Brittany Renner or something.
Brittany Griner?
Yeah, her. Or whatever.
The basketball player?
No, the other one. And basically she was talking about how she was letting men misuse her, her body and shit. And for me, that resonated with me, because I remember getting in an argument one time like 7 years ago with my mother. And she was basically telling me, like, what the fuck are you doing? You so intelligent, you so smart, you so beautiful, you can do whatever you want. And I was literally telling her that it was nothing wrong with what I was doing because I was so lost. And it didn't make sense to her because I was like, in my mind, I was justifying what I was doing because of what I had. You know, I had my first Bentley at 21. You know what I'm saying? I'm having 3, 4, 5 homes, young, but I'm blowing money. But in my mind, at that young of an age, like for me now, that's why I feel so crazy. I remember at one time I looked in my closet and I had like 100 pair of red bottoms. And then when I researched like that they used to have us in the human zoos and what the Red Shoe Club really meant, you know how dumb I felt? And I literally gave my blood, my body, my soul, my energy to be able to have these things and feel like I was something. That's why now, like even this, you know, this belt cost me $20. My whole outfit cost me $100 because I realized that I make this shit.
Oh yeah, the clothes don't make you. Exactly. We make the clothes. So that whole outfit cost $20.
No, $100.
$100.
Yeah.
So I'm a creative person, as you already know. Tipville is my brand. But I tell people this is bigger than Tipville. I say this is a lifestyle because I live this. I walk around living this, right? And so somebody asked me today, the other day, I was at rehearsal, right? They was like, what is Tipville? And I was explaining it to them. Somebody asked me that today too. And I was like, man, yeah, it's me. I said, I never want to be like anybody else but me. Right. I don't follow trends. I set them. So when I'm rocking this, and I made this today.
Hey!
I literally, because every episode is a new drip.
I like it.
And it's a message on it too. Do you mind reading that for me?
No, I can't see. Don't put your limitations on me. I like that. You know what else I really want to talk about in this crazy because we're really in this holiday quote unquote season, right?
I can't stand it.
Oh, I hate it. And
strongly dislike. I don't use that word.
Let me tell you the reason why I say I hate it. And I don't use that word often either because let me tell you something. When I look around how frantic we are, how much we go crazy about the date, you know, about the even shipping this shit, right? People go crazy. They be pawning shit. They do all this shit for a date. And I'm like, man, could you imagine if us as families like made our quote unquote own holidays and made that same effort to be around each other and to actually build a family bank and actually put that same amount of money to our own families? Like, not only it's one thing once we realize what we're quote unquote not celebrating as far as it being pagan, right? It's a whole nother thing when you realize how much we truly spend on this shit.
Oh yeah, trust me. Yeah.
And to me, it's like, man, literally people are spending all this money on these flights. People are doing all these crazy things. And I'm like, man, if we really took the same amount of time that we spent looking on Amazon, doing all these things to really sit down and learn the loopholes as far as really financial literacy, how far our families would actually be. Like, seriously, if we took all these quote-unquote pagan holidays out of the calendar and put our own family quote-unquote holidays into our own calendar, and we really, really sat down to have family group chats, family quote-unquote holidays, we all spent the time to come in together, what we could actually build. You know what I mean? Like, even right now, like, I know you've been following my page a little bit, like, those tower gardens, right?
I'm glad you brought them up because I was going to ask about that.
Man, like, that right there, I feel like, to me...
That's changing the game. I'm not going to lie. I seen that. I'm like, because you can do it in the city. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. Man. Trust me, I went to go look at it because I looked at the prices. Because I was like, he just don't know. I say, one day, I'm going to come to her and I'm be like, yeah, I need that. Because, believe it or not, y'all, I understand there's like a bunch of like vegans and stuff out there. They still come from somewhere that I still don't know where the fuck they coming from.
Exactly.
And again, I said this on my podcast, they do still spray vegetables and fruit with chemicals. You still can't get away from all the shit. That's why I like your shit, because you get to grow it.
Let me ask you a question. Where does E. coli come from?
You said E. coli? Mm-hmm. E. coli.
That's shit, right? If we go
the shit
look...
you eat?
No. If we go look
at...
Oh, yes. If we go look at all the soil that we buy from the quote unquote stores. What's in it? Manure, right? So we're planting all of our, whatever we planting in our garden in manure. Well, let's just say we planting our lettuce. Are we really eating a head of lettuce or are we eating a head of shit? Think about what I'm saying. Are we eating a head of lettuce or are we eating a head of shit? So if it's literally a way for you to grow your food indoors or outdoors with no soil, what better way is it to be self-sustainable? And people always make these little conspiracy little quotes talking about if. It's not if, it's when the grid goes down. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? We're already going to the grocery store. We're seeing how much this food costs. We're like, what the fuck is a seedless grape? What the fuck is a seedless watermelon? What is that?
Exactly.
Like, what are we really eating?
And then it'd be like little white seeds in there in the seedless watermelon.
I've never heard of such.
Because first off, most of the stuff not even in season. Exactly. That's what a lot of people don't know. And the only reason I know that is because I grew up on a farm.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm a country boy. So, and I know how to grow and plant. And you can actually use manure like to help grow your food.
So what's good shit?
Well, cows eat grass, so we just use what they shit because they don't eat meat.
So it's good shit.
So, and we use that.
That's good shit?
Hey, that's what we used when I was growing up.
Well, now I have something for you.
Because that's what we use. We use that or we just watered it all the time.
Well, see, that's why this, to be honest, I feel like you say, it's a game changer because not only can you grow it indoors or outdoors, it's year round. You know, there's certain times when you're growing regular that you can't grow. Mm-hmm. When you can grow your food indoors or outdoors year round, there's no time off.
Exactly.
There's no time off. You can literally, this could literally be the tower garden. Mm-hmm. I can take it off of there, wash it and put it in my plate and eat it. It's no spraying. It's like, you really don't know what anybody else is doing with your food. Like, why do we continue to live our lives and be comfortable with other people being in control of it? Like, even with the education, like, it doesn't make any sense when we say that we understand who our quote unquote whatever enemy is, but we continue to send our children to school. We continue to let people feed us, educate us. It doesn't make any sense. And then we want to wonder why we're at the level that we're at. That makes no sense to me. Maybe it does to you.
Nah, I'm about to say, trust me, because I'm like, bro, I really want to just homeschool my daughter. I'm like,
you should.
I'm like, what are they doing? I work for myself, so I ain't got to clock in to nobody. I clock myself in, I clock myself out, and I do what I want to do. I be forgetting the days. Like, I was like, oh shit, I'm like, it's Thursday.
You remember when you called me today?
Yes, you forgot today?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you like, I thought it was right. I'm like, no.
But you know what's crazy that you say that? Like, I'm going back to homeschooling your kids, right? To me, like, that is like one of my biggest things right now is that I want to do two things. I want to build like self-sustainable cities, and that's including like building a village to like educate our children, because I know that the youth is our future, right? And it's crazy because I sit and think about where would we be as a people if we learned from an infant who we were. You know what I mean? First of all. And then I think about from a child, we always heard, drink your milk, it makes you stronger. When in reality, y'all been decalcifying our pineal gland since we were a child. Like, I remember the first time I seen a movie and it actually resonated with my mind before I was into my spiritual realm. When I was like, wait a minute. These X-Men people seem like us. You know what I mean?
Who's your favorite character?
Me. For real, because I look at those movies and I see myself, because it's so many different small aspects of life that are all in us that are in these movies. It's not just one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't idolize nobody, even a character. Like, I'm not going to give them that gratitude because I did that for so long. Like, for me, when I look at myself, I'm the motherfucking shit. So I don't have to be like, I'm my motherfucking favorite character. You know what I mean? Like, me. That's why I'm in the gym and I'm loud to the motherfucker. Be quiet. No, you be quiet. You know what I mean? Because you can't dim my light. You can't make me feel like I'm too loud because I was too quiet. You know what I mean? Like, I really really, really used to not have no motherfucking hope. And now, like, even a lot of things that I post and people get upset about it, but like, I'm unapologetically melanated queen right now.
I'm about to say unapologetically.
I almost
me.
said black, but I'm trying to get out of that as well. But like, I'm not posting it to be offensive to nobody. But it's so funny because when people have their white privilege or they flex that white privilege, and I'm not being rude, it's okay. But
shit.
when we flex our shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's a problem. Like,
it's always a problem.
I used to make a joke and I said, man, I bet you if Kim Kardashian came out here with with some nappy ass hair, an afro, you know what I mean, and no makeup, people will start really embracing who they really was. But instead, we look at these people and we idolize them. And when I think about it, like back in the day, having a big ass was looked
down upon.
Now everybody like, God, bitch, what? What are you? No, that's not normal. Like big lips, everything, like the cornrows. Like it was a time where black women couldn't even wear their hair in braids to schools. They was making all kind of, uproars about it. But then here come Kim Kardashian and them, and now it's a trend. Like, bitch, that's us.
Been us.
Always has been and always will be. You know what I mean? Like, I look back at times and I'm like, man, like, I tried so hard to be something else. And in reality, that's what everybody wanted to be because that's who the God really is. Like, I can walk in, even with me being nervous, like, I can still walk in anywhere and be like, man, can't nobody fuck with me because I finally know who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I finally can really say, like, I love myself. It was a time where I would put up with bullshit from men, women, family, because I was so desperate to have somebody, a friendship, a being, because I was too afraid to look at myself and be like, wait a minute, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, I might have all these good qualities, you know what I mean? Like, even as a black woman, like, I might know how to be submissive, I'm not gonna cook, I can do all these things, but like, what about the negative parts of me? Like, when are you ever gonna be like, wait a minute, maybe you should think before you speak? You know what I mean? Maybe you should not have the last word, even if my word is right. Because sometimes, even I had to realize a lot of times, even when I was right, I was still wrong. And when I say that now, it's like, because it's always your story, my story, and the truth. And we can all three still be in the truth. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at it from my perspective, but you're looking at it from yours, and we both still seeing this way. You know what I mean? And it's like now that I understand that, it made me be okay with still being alone. I was never okay with being alone. You know what I mean? I always felt like, and it was crazy because I would always go harder for other people. I mean, like, crazy. I'm working 24 hours, 3 days, no sleep, taking all stupid shit. But when it came to self, up until now, I never valued myself because of what I was doing at the time. You know what I mean? Like, that shit used to hurt me to go to family functions, and it didn't matter if I was paying. And it was times when I was spending 10, 20, 30,000 on holiday gifts, but I would still show up to the family events and everybody knew. Everybody knew. Like, I was always that. But
like the chick off of Soul Food, cousin thing.
Yes. And you know what? And I hate that I keep referring to them, but I even told my grandmother this one day. I said, you know what, Grandma? This is why I'm upset. I'm not upset about what I did because really, in reality, it's not like I chose it. But I did have a choice to leave. But what I'm saying is, my problem is, if I would have ended up like their family as far as the Kardashians, it's not about how they got their little witchcraft shit. What I'm saying is, if my past would have led to my entire family not just being on as far as being famous, I'm talking about our trust being immaculate, our life insurance shit being immaculate, our kids being immaculate, I wouldn't give a fuck about what I did because I can go on Instagram right now and scroll down and y'all will look just like everybody on there selling pussy. Just keep it a buck. And then y'all have the nerve to say you have a man. But then I see you in public and you got a bonnet on. Like, it makes no sense. Like, none of it makes any sense. So it's like, it's not like I feel bad about it, but I feel bad about that. I got out with damn near nothing. Or I wouldn't say nothing because my mindset is one thing, but I've seen so many people leave with the same situation. Like, Yeah, I got money. Yeah, I got cars, but we be getting all this shit and giving it right back. That don't mean nothing. Like, can you leave your kid that? You know what I mean? Like, it's so many people. Like, I remember when everybody was talking shit about Jeff Bezos paying no money in taxes. Yeah, it's funny, but think about what I'm saying. If we all, as a people, spent as much time as we spend on Instagram scrolling, learning the loopholes and real finances and understanding, like, it took years for people to realize what Waka Flocka was talking about his life insurance and how to borrow money off your own life insurance. It took one person. Now everybody figured it out. This shit been going on for years and years and years, but ain't nobody taking the time to do that. But we have the time to be on social media all day long. All day long. That makes no sense to me. My opinion.
Let's do another card.
Is it your
You
go?
pull first. If 3 fives come up,
I'm not about to say because 3 is my number.
5 is mine. I'm gonna pass it to you though. You ask me anything.
Okay.
Queen.
That me. Okay. If you had the opportunity right now to be in control of changing the culture, what would be the first 3 things that you would do?
I'm doing it.
Well, what are they? How bad?
My podcast.
I like that.
My podcast is number 1.
Okay.
The reason I say my podcast because you have a safe outlet to be who the fuck you want to be on this motherfucking couch with me. Other people use this studio, cool. But when I'm here, this my shit.
I like that.
This my shit. That means you can be comfortable of being you, showing these people, showing the world who the fuck you are.
I like that.
2, to change the culture, myself. I'm putting myself out there. I'm showing people who I am, which I've been afraid to show people. And it's really just stepping out because this is very uncomfortable for me because, again, just like Too Tired of God, my big bro, I'm an introvert. I don't like people. I don't. I like to be by myself. I like to be in my bubble, my reality. When I walk, and I'm the king, that's why I wear this crown. I'm a king. I always knew I was a king. And nobody can tell me nothing different. Because in my head, you can laugh at me, but you laughing at yourself because you ain't comfortable with yourself. And to change the culture too, I'm gonna say my podcast one more again.
Bring that shit back.
I'm gonna bring it right back because it's gonna come right back to this podcast, man. I'm not doing this just for me. I'm not. I'm gonna say that one more again. I'm not doing that just for me. I'm not trying to force change. I'm trying to show you a change. But just like her, she got a story. That story powerful as fuck. I have a story. I come from bullshit. I'm adopted. A lot of motherfuckers don't know that. It took me a while to be comfortable saying I'm adopted because I was so ashamed of how it was looked at. But I came from nothing. I come from a town with 360 people.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you the picture.
What?
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm dead ass. I say I'm one of one because ain't nobody like me.
Ain't nobody like none of us. I like
Exactly. I'm one of one. Shout out to my co-host Javion Bishop, free my brother. That's another thing changing the culture because he was help changing this culture with me on this couch. I could have gave up and been saying, man, you know what? I'm going to wait for him. My spirit say, no, you got to keep going. We got to keep pushing because when he come out, he got a safe place to land because that's my brother. And I said, I got him. And another thing, man, I'm trying to change too for the culture is to be a man of your word. I don't want to have you sign contracts. I don't want you to feel like, hey, working for Tip is really me not focusing on myself because the only thing I'm trying to do with this, and I'm going to tell you my whole thing and lay all my cards out on the table. No pun intended. This platform is for y'all. You got music, artists, sit on this couch. Poets, sit on this couch. They artists. You have a business that's going to change the fucking game. That is a gold mine you created. I'm gonna tap into that because I need that.
I was waiting on that because I really want to talk to you.
Yeah. We'll talk to off camera because there's a lot of knowledge you got that I need. I need that. I need that because you talking what I'm talking. Because I got a plan too, and that community shit you talking about, it's gonna happen. The reason I know it's gonna happen because I'm going to be that nigga.
Let's do it, man.
To make that type of shit happen because what you don't know is that things has been moving around, and I'm like, okay, I need this, and even if I don't know it, I'm around the people that do know it.
Oh my, okay, I hate to cut you out. Do you know that's how I met your friend? Our friend.
Man.
When I say I'm stuttering, because when I say the universe do not play, like, literally, like, you always be in the right place in the right time when it's that time. And, like, when I met him, our energy just connected because of the way we thought. And then immediately the very next day, he put me around somebody else that was around the same mindset. And it was like the other piece that I was missing. And it was like the very next day after that, the same thing. And then he brought you up. And I was like, man.
He told me about you. He say, Tip. He say, man, you got to tap in with her. And I say, okay. I'm like, man, send me her stuff. Check out that. Look, what's that say? Tell me what that. No. Look at that number and show what it say.
Man, is that on purpose? Yeah, that's the universe.
That's the universe because I never seen that 3 until today.
That was for me. That was for me, baby.
So yeah, that man right there, Too Tired God, man.
He's a good friend, man.
Like, that's my brother. Like, I don't use that loosely. He already know the vibes with that. I don't use that loosely. He be like, hey, Tip, hey, I need you here. If I got to rearrange my schedule, I'm rearranging my schedule. It's just simple as that. He said I had to meet you. I trust his judgment because he ain't never told me a lie and he don't steer me wrong. So I was like, we got to do this. Like, I was at rehearsal before this. I didn't even tell you that. And I was like, man, I say, man, I got my podcast. Like my podcast is my baby. Like, I love this motherfucker to death. And then I'm rehearsing in a play. This is my first ever play.
What?
So I'm learning it. I'm learning this shit on the fly. I'm uncomfortable because I know I can act. Like, I want to be in movies. I want to do meaningful shit. A lot of people don't know, nigga, I'm actually trying to write out some shit too for where people can gravitate to. And it comes from a nice motherfucking place. And it might sound like somebody else's story, but it ain't.
No, that's called resonation. That's why it's important for people like you and me to get our stories out. I didn't mean to cut your wisdom, but the reason I say that is because a lot of times that's why that's why people have to be 100% authentic. Why? Because when you can resonate with people and you've been to where they're at, but then you make it to a different level, people look at you and like, man, that's admiration, because it's one thing for somebody that ain't never went through a motherfucking thing you'd have went through, and they're like, you should do this, you should do that, you can be successful. But it's another thing to look at somebody that got it out the mud the same way that you are, but they up here. That's uplifting. And when you say people can, it's like sounding like somebody else's story, it's because it is, but they're too afraid to say it. Mm-hmm. So when you can be that man, that king, that boss, that God, and be like, man, this is where the fuck I come from, but look at me now. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody think about where I come from.
Yeah.
Because the reason that people gravitate to me is because all that shit made me who I am today. Same with you. So whenever that shit come out, it's a purpose.
And I realized I tapped into my purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, my purpose is to help my people. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to help my family. That's numero uno. But my goal is not only to help my family, it's to create opportunities. Like, I don't want to be a person that find a way and don't give it back. Mm-hmm. Like, what am I holding this information from? For what? I'm not asking. I don't even want no money from it because money is going to come.
Oh my God, I say that all the time.
I don't need the money from it. That's why when I reached out to Kanye, I reached out to, and Kyrie, I know they seen my messages. They ain't respond, but I know in my spirit said they seen that shit.
That's all that matter though.
It was like
you
I know they
plant
seen
that seed.
Yeah.
As long as you plant that seed, it don't matter.
I've been blowing the motherfuckers up, but for the simple reason is because like I know I'm gonna change the game.
There you go.
Like, this my shit.
There you go.
Like, I'm gonna change this shit.
You already are.
And so it's moving.
Hey.
It's moving.
Man.
It ain't gonna be nowhere to stop because I'm around the right people. I'm finding my tribe. I'm finding my people. So, we're gonna do this one more time before we go.
Okay.
2, 4.
Can I ask you again?
I'm a transparent person, so I be trying to tell people, I'm like, nothing is out of bounds.
Okay. Let me see. What is your 10-year mark look like from now?
Retired.
As far as your legacy being left, though, not
Oh,
like, what is your definition of your legacy if it was cut off in 10 years?
my kids and stuff is my legacy. Like, my family is my legacy. Like, Tipville can be gone today. That's a part of me, but they with me forever. That's like, my family is what means the most to me.
So what are you doing to set that up? Like, what actions or like are you involved in like making like setting up your trust and all that stuff?
Now, so like will and all that, like I've already written all that stuff down, and I know how I want to break everything down already.
Okay.
And so, like with the life insurance, I got to get my life insurance and stuff back.
Could you imagine if everybody? Because I
don't know why people don't think about life insurance.
Exactly, because not to be weird, but you know how everybody say everybody in the hood always dying. But could you imagine if everybody that was always dying in the hood had life insurance?
That residual. So see, they don't think about that.
I hate to laugh because it's not funny, but like think about that.
And it's only a few dollars a month.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hold on. Do we got a question? Let me see. Say spit that fire. The vibration is strong as hell. The frequency is raised. That's what changes the plane. Yeah, the plane. This the non-listener. Is that Eyecfit talking? Yeah, they know you. They know you. You famo. But yeah, man. So yeah, so I plan on retiring. I'm trying to give. My thing is I'm gonna be present. I want to see my kids. I want to be around them, like even more. So I'm even grinding harder now so I can be with them and just help groom them and grow them, keep them on the right path. Like especially my daughter. She up on it. That's my baby girl. Like she's special. She different. Like I already see it. Like she different. And so I want to make sure, like, even with the type of food, she eat more fruits than anything, fruits and veggies and stuff. Like, she don't drink milk. I say, nah, we not doing the milk. She was breastfed. One of my.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, it was like, in our series, she different. She winks at me.
How old is she?
She won. Aww. If I show you videos of her, y'all be like, what the hell? Like, she's special. And she got that loving energy. Like, she got a big heart. Like, I already see it in her.
I like that. Look, your little eyes sparkling with that. You know what?
That's my girl.
And I swear I'm going to stop talking after this, but it's funny that you say that because every time people talk about kids and people always look at me side eyes when I say this, but that sparks me to talk about polygamy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I speak about polygamy, people they start getting uncomfortable and stuff, but I always take it back to this, like, it's a difference between, like, okay, let's just example. Let's say you at home and you fall asleep at your grandma's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
You fall asleep on the couch. Your grandma gonna come, put a blanket on you, tuck your feet in up under the blanket, tuck you all in, right?
Yeah.
But some random woman, it could even be your woman, whatever. She might just throw the blanket on you, right? Mm-hmm. It's two different levels of nourishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at polygamy, and I understand, because for me, it's like, I look at it for the children and for the future, right? So when I think about having like 3 or 4 different nurturing women around me that are like that, right? Because so many men, especially men, like that's the reason why a lot of them have problems with their like emotions and stuff, right? It happens from the man, but what I'm saying is it's no foundation, right? And a lot of times, like there's not really a lot of women that are whole as far as everything that a man or even a family really needs can really be sustained in one woman. Like to give you an example, there are certain women that are great communicators. Mm. There are certain women that are extremely great nurturers. There are certain women that that are extremely into like nurturing fitness. I mean, not nurturing nutrients, fitness. That will take the time to research about food, what they're putting into the kid's body. And then there's another woman that can really sit down and have patience as far as education. You know what I'm saying? Education is one thing, but you have to have the patience because different children learn different at different paces. You know what I mean? So one woman, to be honest, cannot handle all of that to me.
Cannot.
That's how I feel. Even when it comes to a relationship, like women always get mad and they always talk shit about when they man cheat, right? But then you always forgive them. But my problem is and I'm not saying cheating is right, whatever. But I'm saying what made him step out? Like what part was not being? I'm not talking about the average just funky nigga that's a cheat. I'm talking about the man, because like I said, where I come from, I'm getting paid thousands of dollars to listen to why these people are in here. Mm-hmm. So I'm listening and complaining. Motherfucker can't communicate. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I come home, it's a problem. They yelling, whatever. So all these different entities, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, if you can't, if you know yourself that you can't supply these certain things, or his sex drive is too high, or his whatever, but you want to deprive this man that you claim that you love, do you really love this person, to be honest? Because let's just go back to the patience. If you have no patience for your husband, how are you going to have patience for your children? You see what I'm saying? And another reason that, honestly, that polygamy works, and I hate to say this, but it's true. A lot of times, another complaint that I always heard was, the woman will come into a relationship just like a man. You do all these things to catch the man, right?
You got to keep doing it, though.
Exactly. But if it's another woman, it might not. It don't even mean y'all got to live together. But if you know for a fact that it's another woman that give a fuck up just like you, that look just like you, that do the things that you do, it's very hard for you to ease up when another motherfucker is right there doing everything. Like, it's a and it's honestly, it's a healthy competition. It's a healthy competition to keep that positive energy in this whole concubine that we got going on, because everybody want to be the whatever. So it's no time for that slack. You see what I'm saying? You, like a lot of women that don't, I mean, to be honest, it's not in our culture really to be monogamous. Men, I'm not talking about women. Kings, really. If you look back at our ancient history, they had multiple wives. You know what I mean? And look at the success that they had.
I got a question. Did you see my episode when the beautiful beast, she asked me about polygamy?
No. Damn.
See,
I only watched Tony.
See. Woo, be on people sometime. It be on people sometime, but it's all good. Well, she told me that she asked me about that, and I say I wouldn't mind it, but I have to be with my goddess. It'd be a conversation between me and her. But I say the person will have to realize I hold her to this standard, though. Like, she's it for me when it comes to, like, that's who I like. That's who I love. I cherish. Like, that's, like, she numero uno. I'm like, would the other person be comfortable being felt like she's second?
Well, let me say this. First of all, I don't think polygamy is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Not even just the men and the women. First of all, the ones that it is, I feel like the woman, I should be controlled, but like, let me just put it like this, because I understand I have the art of seduction mastered.
Okay.
So a woman can come around a man and completely knock you off your socks, but your woman that's sitting next to you can sniff a bitch out. Like, that bitch ain't right.
Yeah.
It don't matter how good she do, whatever she got going on when I'm not, I can smell it on her. She funky. You know what I'm saying? Confirmation. See that? So it's important that y'all are on the same level, because her frequency reader is way higher and way more in tune than yours. You might be looking, I don't care if this woman make $1 trillion, her head game on, it don't matter. Her energy, because we have to realize too, Another problem when men step out and do that weirdo shit, it's not really just that y'all get caught in whatever weird. It's the energy that you bringing back. It's not even the diseases. Like certain women, not certain women, a lot of women, they succubuses, and so is men. But you'll go out and like meet men, say we whatever. We'll have some good energy vibes, and you'll step out and you'll do some things, and her whole soul now is twined into you, and now you come back and bring that into me, and now we can't figure out why we arguing. It's because you done stepped out of our energy realm. You know what I mean? Like, that woman is going to be able to tell if she is a 369. You might think she a 369, but she a fucking 000. But she looked the part. You feel what I'm saying? But there, again, to what you saying, like, there are some people that, to them, that one person is it. But something like, for you, if your woman is your whole, then you blessed. But 9 times out of 10, I'm keeping it a buck. For 13 years, 99.999% of the people that I saw was happily married. Wife on the phone. Hey, look at my case. Hey, you want $5,000? What the fuck?
No, trust me. I used to work at a strip club. So
that made no sense.
So when you said strip club, I understood because I used to work at one. So I seen strippers from a whole different light from what other people was like you see on like TV and stuff like that. I'm having conversation with these ladies. I say, bro, they just normal people. I say, y'all really be thinking they just some like
flatbackers.
Yeah, they just.
Man, do you know? Literally, I'm telling you, I was literally the most
y'all
money
like
that you make is like exactly. I'm telling you, I was a queen and saying I was on my excuse, but I was on my stuff. I don't know. Literally. It's just like in the regular world. The more a man chase you, the more he's intrigued. It's the same with that shit. The more that they think they're gonna get something from you, the more they pay. As soon as they think they're getting it, oh my God, I gotta go every time. And by the time that marker comes, I done took all my notes I need to take from you. I done seen your stock portfolio. I done asked the questions I need to ask. I done figured out, hey, so how do I, leverage this company from this? I didn't ask all I need to know. Now your time was up, so I'm gone. And when she realized the true art of that, like most people don't realize, like the quote unquote hoes that y'all is thinking is, I'm not talking about the Craigslist people. That's too much because I'll be walking funny. What I'm saying is the real ones. And let me take that back. That's why another thing that I was upset because we're around too many people that are to that level for it not to be 150,000 quote unquote ex-hoes that is billionaire CEO companies or these tech companies and all this shit. You around these people too much to not absorb this game.
Oh my God.
Like, why are you not the fly on the wall? Y'all want to be seen. I want to be the most invisible motherfucker acting like I'm sweet and I got my tape recorder running. You know what I mean?
I'm like, okay. I always had that innate ability of just basically people think I'm not listening, but I'm paying
the whole time
100% attention. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. Like be quiet. Like, shut the fuck up. Just listen. So,
you got to sometimes.
What you got to say? Any last words?
Confirmation. No, I don't got no last words, man.
Would you do this again?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Like, for me, at first I was nervous, and I think my nervous point comes because it's so much that I really just want to be explosive about, but
that's why it's.
I don't be knowing when to start sometimes because I'm like, man, there's so much fuck shit going on right now.
Nah, just go. That's why like next month I'm gonna have another episode with Ty because I love these type of episodes. Don't get me wrong, I love my other episodes that I do because I don't fit myself in a box. I'm a swift armor and I put me anywhere. Like, I can adapt. And so conversations like this is for our people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I love my artists, I love my rap artists, I love my poets. I really love my poets. They some deep.
I'm saying poets are like
yeah.
Deep.
And and then most of the rappers or entertainers I get, they're poets too.
Oh shit! I roll my ass in the ring.
So they like poets, and I'm like, bro, you really don't. Do you understand what you be saying sometimes? Like, or if people just listen to music instead of the beat. Like, you just turn the beat off and just listen to what the words they saying. And I'm like, bro, you know what they really saying? It sounds like some basic shit, but just really just tap in, just listen to the words they saying. They really guiding you on some shit.
That's how the old school music used to be. That's why I get so disappointed nowadays.
That's why I jam old school music. Or if I do jam music, it got some substance to it.
I like that.
So, with that being said, I had an joyous time See, I love when I be around my people, boy. I just be lighting up. I be teasing, boy. Y'all don't ever see me smile like this.
Shut up.
But
I've been looking over here the whole time.
Yeah, the camera.
I know. I see it now.
Peace. Love. Hair grease. Tiptastic.
Miss Eyecfit.
We out this bitch.
I like these headphones.